Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm doing another part of the review on ChartPrime. And so if you guys have been watching the series, I think it's a decent product, but the oscillator package has three components. I did the first one yesterday, and today it is the turn of the Trend Fusion oscillator inside the ChartPrime package for TradingView. Before we get started, I wanted to just let you know about Jeff Zenini's calendar stocks. He just released another pick. Well, I actually just closed out another pick that he had from just over a month ago, and it closed for 80% profits, which is really fantastic. So this is a swing trading system. If you're not familiar with it, I talk about it on the channel a little bit. But the monthly money flows, or calendar stocks as they're called, come out at the start of the month, and you hold for typically 2 or 3 weeks. This last one was a bit longer. It's only $49 for the year, and there's a 60-day money-back guarantee, which is awesome. This is the landing page right here. I'll put a link in the description below so you can get to this and my full review on it. You can go down and check out the price, check out what you get. You get options courses. It's both stock and options alerts, so it's definitely worth a shot. And so far, I've really enjoyed this service. It's by a guy who turned $5 million into $700 million as a hedge fund manager, and he seems to be really genuine and legit. I'm actually interviewing him for the channel next week, so keep an eye out for that interview if you're interested in this service. So definitely check it out. I'll leave the link for both this full review with the track record and everything, and also the landing page to purchase if you want for $49 in the description below. Anyway, let's get started with the Trend Fusion oscillator. This is the documentation that comes with ChartPrime. I've talked about most of these things, like the market oracle stuff with the actual signals on it, and I'm working through the final part, which is these oscillators. So I talked about the prime oscillator, nothing really spectacular with that, so kind of moving on to the Trend Fusion oscillator to see if I prefer that or if there's anything useful in the Trend Fusion oscillator. I think I've mentioned before, certainly recently in the last videos, I'm not a huge fan of oscillators in general with these packages, these alerts, indicator packages for TradingView. And so it's just like, I look at these and I'm like, okay, are they lagging? Does it really help that much? So I know some people love them, so I'm going to go through and show you what this one has. So first of all, the first one they have is trend mode. So it says here, the price volume oscillator uses an adaptive calculation to signify when price is entering a downtrend or an uptrend. When the price volume oscillator intersects with the adaptive plot, so here, for example, the color of the price volume band will change to signify an uptrend or downtrend. Green obviously being an uptrend and red being a downtrend. So let's look at it actually on here. So you can see what they're talking about, these fuzzy. So I kind of ignore everything else here. All I look at is this line, this green and red fuzzy hairy line. Looks kind of hairy, right? So that's all I'm looking at here. I'm ignoring the rest in the background. I wish I could get rid of it, but I can't. And so this is the Trend Fusion oscillator. This is on charts, SPY 1 minute chart. And so let's look and see what the price action's actually doing with some of this stuff. Let's just pick a point at random, say like right here. You can see that right here we had a peak in the price on SPY on the 1 minute, and then very shortly after, not much of a lag, we had the nice turn to the red downtrend on the oscillator, which actually held pretty well all the way to the bottom here. And you can see we had a change in the color of this hairy cloud. And we started to see the bullish trend actually play out pretty well. So you can see it does work in places, like all these things. Now, also pointing out here, there was a bullish reversal. So part of the oscillator package is you get these little circles here. Hopefully you can see that down the bottom. Bullish reversal if you hover over it. And it was a little bit premature, but it did signify a bullish reversal. So one thing you might want to do with this is, like all these indicators, is add confluence. So if you have a bullish reversal here, and then you start to see the oscillator turn green again, you might want to say like, okay, that's two things that signify here that we've got a reversal and the trend might be changing. I have to admit, on the 1 minute, this is actually doing a fairly good job. Usually the time frames on these oscillators and on the indicator signals work better on longer time frames. But this one's actually doing okay. It's a little lagging, like you can see it missed this one a little bit. By the time it was really turning red, it was actually switching back to green here. So you'd have caught the uptrend right here, but this downtrend was just a little bit too late. You're always going to see that though, so it's not like all of these things work all the time. It's just another tool in your tool chest, hopefully. So here's one that worked quite well. So you can see there's a bearish reversal right here. And then we switched to, so we're up at the top here, which is also a bearish sign often. And then we changed to red here, and we did get a decent downtrend. So you could trade this, or at least use it as confluence with the other stuff that we're entering a downtrend. So that's kind of interesting here as well. So let's just go back along here a little bit and see. Here's another example of a downtrend working pretty well. Here's the one like right here. So you can see we started to turn the fuzzy red cloud on, and it started to sell off nicely, and you caught this downtrend pretty nicely. And it got the bottom fairly well, so you got this bounce in the green trend indicating a price action. Again, there's no backtesting or anything available to really put numbers on any of this stuff. So it's kind of eyeballing it when you're doing reviews like this, is just kind of seeing if things match up or if they're useful in any way. So that's what they're talking about here. I just showed you that on the chart in real time. Now the divergences are also in here, so I talk about divergences a fair bit with these oscillators. It's one of the key things. So remember, with the divergences, if you have a bearish divergence, you have the price action making higher highs, but you have the oscillator making lower lows. And that's what gives rise to this line that appears, which is bearish divergence. That's predicting a downturn in the price. And you can see in their example here that that's kind of what happened. We have a bearish divergence appear around here, and then we had a sell-off all the way down here. So you can add that to the charts with ChartPrime just by clicking on the oscillator. Always do that. Always ends up just opening up the full thing. There we go. So you can go into the menu here and just add divergences. So that should add the divergences to the chart. I have no idea what divergences are on this time frame. We might have to switch to other ones to see any actual divergences. Let's have a look. There's a few, so we double click here. So you can see these red lines are appearing. So it's saying a bearish divergence. So based on this, these two red lines here would indicate that, you know, you'd see this red line appearing here, right? As the oscillator made lower lows, it would appear. Then the trend cloud changes to red. So you'd say at this point, you'd expect there to be a downturn, right? Like just based, if you were just looking at the oscillator. So I'm going to draw a line up like this. And same with the thing on the right here. So if we look over to the right. So I'm just going to copy paste this. Let me just draw another one. Easier. So you'd say, again, you have a bearish divergence appear, and then the trend cloud turns red and continues down significantly for a while. So let's take those two into account. So you say, like, do we see that the price action actually decline from here on down and from here on down? And I have no idea if it does, so let's have a look and see. So you can see this first one, if we just extrapolate this line up here, we really didn't see much. I mean, it didn't work very well. Yes, you can see, like, if I put my cursor here, we got a little bit, but by the time you got in, it was actually reversing. So this divergence combined with the trend fusion didn't really work. This one, however, on the right seemed to work a lot better. You can see if I put my cursor here, this worked really well. So you got in right at this point here, and then this thing just sold off all the way down till it was all the way over here. And then you saw the green reverse. So you can see, like, these do work, but of course nothing's 100%. Overall, I kind of like this, though. It's got a nice feel to it. It seems pretty simple. It's definitely better than the previous one, the main oscillator they used, this Prime oscillator. I prefer the Trend Fusion oscillator. It's nice to have it in the package. I think it's simple. I wish they got rid of some of the background noise, but the divergences are very easy to see. I talked about the areas of reversal, those reversal dots. So you can imagine a scenario here where you have a trend fusion turning red, a bearish divergence, a reversal dot. You would hope to see all of those come into alignment, and you'd actually see a good sell-off. So let's see if we can spot one. I won't spend too much time on this, but maybe we can find one where we have all the things coming together. So here we have the reversal points. Oops. So there's a reversal point here, but there's no divergence. A reversal point here, but there's no divergence. So it's hard to get everything aligning. There's a bullish divergence, by the way. They draw in the green line. My chart's kind of gone bye-bye here, so see if we can get that back. There we go. Okay, so the bearish divergence here lasted a while, but it did actually kind of work. It took a little bit of time. Bullish divergence plus a reversal point. So this is kind of showing all three things working, right? So you have the bullish reversal dot that appears. You have the bullish divergence appearing, but remember this is the entry at the end of the line, not the start of the line. And you have the green coming up. So by the time this happened, though, we really didn't see much upwards movement. I mean, I guess we saw a bit for a while here, but not super clear cut. So don't see anything on the 5-minute SPY here either. Few bearish divergences that failed. Let's look at the daily. I'm just curious. Usually these things work better on the longer time frames. Let's see what we see on the daily. There we go. Okay, so here's one on the daily. We have a reversal dot here, a bearish divergence, and kind of a mix on the turning red here. But let's see what that looks like on the actual chart. Let's get rid of this. So yeah, so that's what I'm kind of saying. It's like this is not superb. I mean, we continued up for a significant period of time here before it finally reversed. But the reversal dot and the bearish divergence were very early or just inaccurate. So yeah. Anyway, that is the trend fusion oscillator for ChartPrime. And I think the whole package is still worth buying, and I'll leave a link in the description to check it out if you're interested. But the oscillator stuff is kind of a little bit meh. We'll see. I'll do the MVP oscillator in the next video. Hopefully there'll be something exciting in that. Okay, that's all for just now. Talk to you guys soon.